13 from the over. 2 wickets came during the over, but the 13 runs really are all that matters at this stage. Luke Fletcher, 3 overs, 2 for 37. Again, a boundary from the final ball. So 2 to go. Will it be Jake Ball to bowl the 19th? It will indeed. He's come in off the fence. So Ball and Fletcher presumably to bowl out. And Yorkshire will just throw the bat. Jordan Thompson, the left-hander, on strike. So any leg side clubbing will go towards that Smith Cooper stand. Seen plenty of lefties over the years target that particular area.
Yeah, I think Jordan Thompson would have fancied Samit Patel getting the ball in his hand at the far end. It was, Samit who he hit for those runs in the red ball game. Picked out the shortest boundary, but not going to get that opportunity.
173 for 5. I don't know when it's going to be my turn to sort the playlist out here at Trent. Let's put it another way. I think there's a reason they've never asked me. 173 for 5. Thompson's on strike. Jake Ball round the wicket to the left-hander who's gone skywards. Should be caught. Alex Hales just circling underneath it and takes a comfortable catch. And Notts have picked up another one. They did cross, so Root is on strike, but it's a dot ball. It's a wicket, of course, but precious dot ball as well to Notts. And Jordan Thompson, who can, as we saw in that match, hit a long ball, isn't going to do so today. 173 for 6, and 3 wickets have gone down in the space of 6 deliveries.
Yeah, not a lot more you can say, but really it's Jordan Thompson having to get on with it. Last couple of overs, that's his job, and just got underneath it, didn't he? Not enough length and a little bit too much height, and Alex Hales, it wouldn't have been easy out there. There's a little bit of a breeze blowing around, but held his position well, held the catch well.
Still some high quality players making their way out to the middle. Johnny Tattersall coming in at number 8. A little bit of helicopter noise overhead. Hope you'll just bear with us for a second while it passes. Then George Hill, Matt Pillans, we've seen once or twice here over the years. In fact, I'll just turn the effects microphone off for a second, because I don't know if it's a helicopter or a small plane now. We'll bring it back on in a second. You'll get the effects back in a moment as Ball bowls, and might have just been well, it was clearly a hit and a miss. I just wondered if there was a bottom edge from the noise. It just sounded as if there was a little bit of something, but it did carry through to Tom Moores. Has that aeroplane or helicopter gone? Yeah,
sounds like it.
You can have the noise back again. Yeah, Matt Pillans, George Hill and Josh Poysden are the 3 Yorkshire batsmen that we've not seen yet. So Ball, 3rd ball of the over, in to Root. That's short and wide, and it's called as a no ball by Nick Cook.
First one of the game.
It's called for head height. Jake a little unlucky there. I fancy his surprise Joe Root a little bit there, but a couple to the total. 175 for 6.
He needed step ladder's brace. Come on.
It's not a free hit. As Ball comes in and bowls it away into the offside. Needs to be stopped, and it's not. It's gone through. Stephen Mullaney for 4. Not sure he got a kindly bounce there, Mullaney. He won't want me to make any excuses for him, any reasons that he got underneath him, but I just got the impression it didn't completely come off that used wicket, that net wicket, cleanly, and he dived over it. Red ball skipper went away for 4.
I think he made it over the practice strip okay, but there's just a couple of footholes beyond that, and I think it was one of those it bobbled in.
179 for 6. Ball in again to Root, and he's got it away for 4 more. Such a dangerous player, complete 360-degree player, Joe Root. As we mentioned a time or two, it's not slogging with him. It's this ability that the very, very best players of this game possess in being able to almost outthink the bowler, being almost a second ahead in that they know where it's going to go and where they're going to put it. And Root has just hit 2 boundaries there, almost diagonally opposite each other.
Wasn't Jake Ball's finest hour, I don't think, either.
There is Ball, 183 for 6. He's in, pushed out into the offside, and Root gets a single, 184 for 6. No, but again, you know, the bowlers have... He's mixing it up, he's trying different things, and you know, often you'll get away with it if you bowl, you know, half a dozen different deliveries in the over, you know, slower balls and what have you. But on this occasion, Root almost seemed to be expecting it, standing there ready.
Yeah, he'd gone for 4 previous ball, probably overcompensating. That was more like it, the previous delivery, just for a single, full and wide.
Final ball of the over, 184 for 6, bowling to Tattersall, who's bowled. So another one comes and goes with out making his mark, and Jake Ball ends with 3 wickets, 3 for 36 in the end. There, Jake, he'll, I'm sure, happily take those figures. 4 overs, 3 for 36. Joe Root is a fine player. Let's you know, let's underline that. You know, let's make sure everybody's on the same page with regards to that. If he went for a couple of boundaries in that over, one Stephen Mullaney a little unlucky, and you know, the second one, as I say, Root was there. It was a leg side ball. It probably did deserve to be put away, but Root was in a position to make the most of it. So George Hill on his way out to the middle, a young man I've not seen before, but a very impressive photograph in that he's on the big screen here at Trent Bridge in an England shirt with the 3 lions on.
England under-19 shirt, yep. He hails, I think, or lives around the Bingley area. Sedbergh School, product of Sedbergh School. Harry Brook, of course, from there as well. And we've seen him just in the last couple of red ball games. So Yorkshire supporters also not too familiar with George Hill, but he got a 29 in the second innings against Lancashire. And he bowled against Derbyshire 13 overs 27 with the red ball. Then he took his first class wickets against Lancs, and also took his first T20 wicket yesterday at Headingley. We'll see him with the ball as well, I would imagine, at some point. So a useful all-round player. I think Yorkshire ready for a while, and he's getting his first opportunities. But at the moment, it's Root on strike to Luke Fletcher. First ball of the last over, and that's a brilliant catch from Alex Hales at long on. That is an outstanding catch. Goodness me, he made sure his foot was inside the rope. He stretched every inch of his body to get up and climb up and catch that ball, and also then had to keep his balance as he landed on his right foot. He just gets a few little elbow bumps from his teammates, and talk about an underwhelming celebration for a brilliant piece of fielding. Joe Root's gone for 65 from 43 balls. Excellent knock from him, and Yorkshire 184 for 8.
Yeah, 43 balls, 9 fours. I'm not playing, but in terms of watching that particular one, I'd given it up as 6 runs straight away. Brilliant work on the fence from Alex Hales. His 3rd catch of the innings. Well battered, Joe Root. Very, very fine knock indeed. 65 from 43 balls. Luke Fletcher's got himself his 3rd wicket now. Matt Pillans on the way out to the middle. Fletcher 3 for 37. Jake Ball finished with 3 for 36. So Pillans in at 10 to join George Hill, and just Josh Poisden in the shed if needed. 184 for 8.
So just certainly not a bad finish for Yorkshire, but just a little bit of momentum being checked here in the last few overs now. And Fletcher in, first ball to Pillans, who pulls this one backward of square leg and gets himself off the mark first ball. George Hill will now be facing then for the first time with just 4 left in this Yorkshire innings. 185 for 8. It's certainly a decent score, no doubt about that. But will it be enough? They'd like to pick up another couple of boundaries, I'm sure, during this last 4 deliveries, but no chance for George Hill to have a look at it, because Fletcher's in now. Low full toss, good delivery from Luke Fletcher, wide of off stump. Hill has to be content with chopping down on that into the offside and picking up a single. Fine margins, we said, didn't we, earlier on, and that fine margin there. Alex Hales, if somebody like Samit Patel or Stephen Mullaney had been under that one, probably would have gone for 6. But he got the fingertips up there. What a catch that was.
Fletcher 3 wickets in 5 balls.
3 for 39 now then. 3 balls left in the Yorkshire innings. Low full toss again, round about leg stump, but this time he's got it away, has Matt Pillans, only just shy of a 6 through straight mid wicket. 1 bounce and across the rope then. So Yorkshire on to 190. Pillans with a first boundary, he's on to 5.
Like you say, fine margins, that one was in the gap. It was in the air for a long time. You just can't cover every single blade of this outfield.
What's Fletcher going to produce now then? In he comes again. Slow ball this time, and again Pillans has got something on underneath that one, but Hales round the boundary edge this time by his standards. That was easy. Comfortable catch. Pillans has gone. Yorkshire 9 down with 1 delivery left at 190 for 9.
Well, 4 catches in the innings now for Alex Hales and 4 wickets to Luke Fletcher. It was almost catching practice there. Pillans out for 5. 190 for 9. 1 ball left in the innings. Can Fletcher get a 5-for? Can Notts bowl Yorkshire out?
Josh poised and then last man coming in for Yorkshire. But they crossed, of course, so George Hill will have strike. And, well, I guess they'd just like to see this disappear over a boundary somewhere. The 200 was on, but I think credit to Nottinghamshire because they've bowled well in this back 4 or 5 overs here, and they've just to some extent stymied that progress that Yorkshire were making. Not a disastrous finish for the visitors, but from where they were, they probably would have liked another 15 runs at this point. You always like more though, don't you? Here's Fletcher then into Hill, who tries an enterprising little scoop and ends up being bowled, and Luke Fletcher has got himself a 5-for. 5 for 43 from 4 overs, and Yorkshire all out off the last ball of the innings for 190.
Yeah, career best for Luke Fletcher. He's never had a 5-for before. He actually got a bit of stick, didn't he? The first 2 overs went the distance, but came back strongly there. In fact, he got his 5 wickets during the course of his last 2 overs. Fletcher 5 for 43. So Notts have just saved themselves a little bit of pain there, you fancy, over the last 2 or 3 overs. 190 all out. Yorkshire, Luke Fletcher 4 overs, no maidens, 5 for 43. The other bowling figures quickly. Matt Carter 4 overs, 1 for 32. Jake Ball, the only other one to bowl out, 4 overs, 3 for 36. I beg your pardon. Ball 3 for 36. Fletcher, we've given you 4 for 43. Then Dan Christian had 3 overs, none for 25. Samit Patel 2 overs, none for 26. And Stephen Mullaney 3 overs, 1 for 26. For Yorkshire, Cola Cadmore made 6, Lythe 53, Root 65, Brook 39, Frayne 16, and then it was a little bit of a 0101 story. Fisher 0, Thompson 1, Tattersall 0, Hill 1, Pillans 5, Poisden 0 not out. Yorkshire 190 all out. Notts will need 191 when we come back in around about 10 minutes time to give you the Outlaws chase. Very much game on here, I fancy. Yorkshire were staring topside of 200 down the barrel, but Notts have just pegged it back quite considerably in the last 2 or 3 overs there. Yorkshire 190 all out. Jonathan and myself will be back in about 10 minutes time as the chase begins.
So at the end of the Vikings innings, they post a score of 190 with contributions from the England Test captain Joe Root and Adam Lythe. From a Notts point of view, well, Luke Fletcher there at the end doing what Luke Fletcher does with his death bowling and getting his 5-for. Notts will require 191. Whilst we wait for that, we caught up with the Notts Outlaws captain Dan Christian earlier on in the week before the campaign started. Here's what he had to say with Kirsty.
Yeah, great to be back. It's a wonderful place, and yeah, nice that given the circumstances I was still able to come over and get the season underway.
And are you ready to walk out onto that field? How are you feeling in terms of approaching the game?
Good, yeah, feeling really good. Had a nice break. I haven't played a professional game since the end of the Big Bash, which was the end of January for me. So for someone at my age, it's nice to have that refreshing kind of few months off and get the body nice and fit, get rid of all the niggles and get back into it.
So you arrived here at Notts mid-2015 season, quite quietly, and we're into your 6th season this season. Did you think your Notts career would actually kind of pan out like that when you arrived? Was it an aim or...?
No, of course not. This is comfortably the longest I've ever spent at a club, particularly as an overseas player. I normally only spend 1, sometimes 2 seasons as an overseas player. So, yeah, to be going into my 6th is something I'm really proud of, and I'm really proud of the success that we've had here as a club over that period. And obviously that's been a reason why you keep wanting me to come back.
But 6 years as a player as well, there must be something that makes Notts quite close to your heart.
Yeah, the ground. I love the ground, and I've made some really good friends here, and I like Nottingham as well. So it's always been a really easy decision for me to keep coming back.
So for obvious reasons, this season is very different. Obviously, we've had quite a shortened Red Bull season so far, still games to play there. But how do you think that will affect the approach to T20, or will it even at all?
I don't think it'll change too much. We're still playing 10 games instead of 14, which is not that much of a difference. And I think the nature of the season being so back to back, I think it'll be really good. That's how most 2020 tournaments are played around the world. You generally only have 2, maybe 3 maximum days between games. So I think it'll be really good for us. And the guys, despite not having the wins on the board in the 4-day cricket, it looks like they're playing some really good cricket. So there's a good feel around the group. They had a really good pre-season, albeit a little bit interrupted, I guess, but they seem to be in a really good place, and they're looking forward to this.
So we've had the pleasure of knowing you for a couple of seasons now, and I think it's fair to say you have a competitive streak in you. What motivates you, and how do you then pass that on to the team as a captain?
What motivates me? I like winning. I just like winning, and I've always been like that since I was a kid, playing board games or in the backyard or anything like that. That's always been my thing. So I guess that kind of rubs off on everyone else when I'm around the change room or out on the field. And it's professional sport as well. I think and guys are proud of they're proud of the way they go about it and their own performance. So from that individual perspective, I think that's what people want to do well, but then also that's the beauty of cricket. You're doing it for the guy next to you as well.
I suppose then if you are competitive, and everybody goes out there as a professional sportsman to win the game, the losses then have an extra element of hurt to them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they do. Particularly when you put everything into it, and of course you're going to lose some games, but there are times when you put yourself in positions to win them, and when you lose those games, they're probably the most disappointing and the ones that hurt the most for sure.
So over the last few seasons, we've seen the likes of Matt Carter, Tom Moores, those younger squad members coming through and really putting in kind of match-winning performances. Presumably that's quite encouraging as a captain to see that kind of talent growing up through the ranks as well.
Yeah, it is, for sure. Those guys are great examples of that, and with the smatterings of older guys within the team as well, Alex Hales and Chris Nash and Mulaney, Patel, even Jake Ball now is one of our most experienced players. And when I first got here, he was still a kid, so ended up playing for England. So it's been really exciting to see that and see the team grow as well as the individuals.
So let's go to this year's competition. I'm thinking it's probably quite a predictable answer, but what is the aim?
Yeah, we're going to win it.
I like the positivity.
I genuinely think we can. I don't think we played anywhere near our best cricket last year. Got to finals day and should have won that semi-final. So. I think with the experience of having lost that semi last year, that hurt a lot of us a lot, and I think we've got a very, very similar team this year, and I'm sure everyone's keen to turn that table.
Is there a risk though that kind of sits there in the back of people's minds, or are you telling everybody close that door, move on to this season?
I think you've always got to have those. Feelings there and be aware of them, because they can drive you. They can definitely drive you. That feeling of wanting to right that wrong. Of course, you want to be focused on the job at hand, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't want to feel like that again.
So it's behind closed doors this year.
Well,
there's a lot of chatter out there as to whether that would affect the game, whether it will affect the feeling on the field for the players.
Game.
How do you think it's going to pan out?
I don't think it'll make too much difference. I I think just being it's professional sport and you're out there trying to do as well as you possibly can. You won't have that 12th man, if you like, of the crowd getting behind you when the game's under the game's on a knife edge. But I think the feel and the intensity and stuff will still be just as high.
So this year we obviously have the stream, and that's hopefully taking cricket here at Trent Bridge into everybody's living rooms. What's important for those fans to do for you guys, really, to keep them close and connected to the game? It's important they're still involved, yeah?
Yeah, it is for sure. I've kept my eye on the 4-day stuff at home, been watching that as well. So it's nice, it's awesome that it goes all the way around the world. But yeah, if any time that we know that there's messages of support coming through, or just knowing that there are X amount of people watching the stream and getting behind us, it'll certainly go a long way to helping us get over the line.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for chatting to us today, Dan. We will hopefully catch up with you many more times across the tournament.
No worries.
And speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Tell you that the game that started at 1 o'clock at New Road, Gloucestershire made 197 for 3, Worcestershire 152 for 7 in the